Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. This is Game On and I'm Meha Bharadwaj Alter. Let's begin with the man who will become the 14th Indian to play 100 test matches when he steps out at the Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association Stadium in Dharamsala for the 5th test. That's right, the 5th and the final test match between India and England in Dharamsala starting Thursday will be special for two cricketers, Ravichandran Ashwin and Jonny Bairstow, who are set to play their 100th test match respectively. But the focus from the Indian media's perspective is on Ashwin, statistically India's greatest match winner at home with the ball in hand. The 37-year-old off-spinner is India's second highest wicket taker with 507 wickets to his name after former skipper Anil Kumble, who sits at 4th place on the all-time list with 619. When the Dharamshala match begins on Thursday, Ashwin will become just the 14th Indian cricketer to reach the landmark of 100 test matches, and it is fitting that he gets to the landmark in the same series in which he went past 500 wickets in the format. During the third match in Rajkot, Ashwin had become the 9th cricketer to reach the coveted landmark of 500 test wickets, moving from 499 to join an elite club with his first wicket of the test. Reaching 100 tests is indeed a special moment for a fascinating cricketer who, during the Ranchi match, went past Kumble's record of 350 wickets at home and drew level with the leg spinner on 35 5-wicket hauls, which is also a record in the format. Ashwin made his test debut in 2011 against West Indies in Delhi, and he was named player of the match for taking 9 wickets. He went on to be named player of the series for his 22 wickets in India's 2-0 win and never looked back. His 507 test wickets have come at an average of just under 24, and his success in India, where he's taken 354 wickets at 21 apiece, played a massive role in India being #1 in tests for 5 years under Virat Kohli's captaincy, as well as in helping the team make it to consecutive WTC finals. Ashwin has 9 Player of the Match awards and 10 Player of the Series awards during his illustrious career, and he will now add the milestone of 100 test matches. Whether Ashwin can surpass Kumble's tally of 619 remains to be seen given his age and the number of test matches India will play overseas in 2025, but there's no doubting his skill, longevity and passion for cricket, which has seen Ashwin add record after record to his name. Now, what adds to the success of Ashwin in Test cricket is the fact that he is a world-class all-rounder who has 5 centuries to his name, currently ranked 2nd in the ICC Test all-rounders list behind teammate Ravindra Jadeja. Ashwin has, in 99 Test matches, scored over 3,300 runs at an average of 26.47 and has many times rescued India valuable lower order runs. So he's rescued the lower order, he's added valuable runs. But perhaps more than his 5 centuries that he scored, it will be a heroic innings of 39 not out that Indian cricket fans will remember Ashwin's batting for. In January 2021, on day 5 of the 3rd test in Sydney, an injured Ashwin combined with another teammate in pain, Hanuma Vihari, steered India to an epic draw and thus kept the series alive at 1-all. Needing a further 309 runs to achieve their target of 407, India began the final day on 98 for 2 and at one stage were eyeing victory when Rishabh Pant and Cheteshwar Pujara added 148, but when both set batters were dismissed, the scorecard was 272 for 5 and Australia had turned the advantage their way. However, in one of the most heroic partnerships of all time, Ashwin, battling severe back pain and a hamstrung Hanuma Vihari, batted for 258 deliveries to stitch together a partnership of 62 to force a draw at the SCG. While Vihari made 23 not out of 161 balls, Ashwin batted 128 balls for his unbeaten 39. Neither played the final test of that famous series, which India won at the Gabba to make history. And it is for such determination that Ashwin, on the cusp of 100 test matches, will be remembered as one of India's best all-rounders. Now, Ashwin called reaching the milestone a pretty big occasion. He said, and I quote, 100 test matches 100 tests matters a lot to me, but it matters more to my father, mother, wife, and even my kids. My kids are more excited about the test. Families go through a lot during a player's journey. My father still answers 40 calls on what his son did during a game. Ashwin considers his 7-wicket haul in the Birmingham Test in 2018 as one of his finest spells. He says, "It is Test wins that stand tall. One of my finest spells I bowled was in Birmingham in 2018. I got 7 wickets in that game. I thought I'd bowled India to win, but that didn't happen." Ashwin said that the 2012 Test series against England at home, which the visitors won, was the turning point in his career. He finished 4th in wicket-takers list with 14 scabs, but ended up conceding 737 runs. That series versus England at home, he said, where Cook and Peterson scored runs, can well be the turning point for me. There were talks of me getting dropped. It was a wonderful lesson for me to improve, say, 5%. I knew what I had to correct since it was addressing downs. Now, only for the 3rd time in Test cricket, 2 players from opposing teams will be playing their 100th Test in the same game. That's right, this Test is also set to mark the 100th appearance for Jonny Bairstow. The 34-year-old will become the 17th Englishman to win 100 Test caps, and Bairstow joked that there might be a surprise barbecue for the team, but also accepted that he would be emotional. He dedicated the milestone to his cancer survivor mother, who has been his driving force, and she's kept the family together through the difficult times. Bairstow said he was desperate to become a Test cricketer while growing up watching his heroes, and would look to put on a show during the 5th Test. He said, and I quote, "I didn't grow up watching one-day cricket. I grew up watching Test cricket. It was everything to me. I loved Michael Vaughan, Marcus Karthik, Kevin Peterson." I remember going to Headingley, watching England do an indoor net session. They were in the Vodafone blue tracksuits, and I was in awe of it. It inspired me, and I was desperate to be a part of it. It's going to be an emotional week. Then he adds, he says, "I want to enjoy the occasion and try to put on a show with the lads for the amazing fans that follow us around the world." Bairstow's journey has not been as straightforward as contemporaries like Stokes and Joe Root. Bairstow is England's 2nd longest serving current player after James Anderson, but he's missed 51 of the Tests played since he made his debut at Lord's in 2012. Injuries mostly have played a part. One notably was that horrific broken leg sustained on a golf course in 2022, but Bairstow also had spells when he'd been left out of the side. He needs 26 runs to reach 6,000 in Tests. Of his 1,200s, 6 came in in the year 2022, when his prolific form launched England's Bazball era under captain Stokes and coach Brendan McCullum. On to Ranji Trophy. Now, while it was jubilation for the Mumbai cricket team, which defeated Tamil Nadu in the Ranji Trophy semi-final to make their 48th final, the bitter disappointment for the visiting team, led by Sai Kishore, has spilled into a controversy off the field. The row began with Tamil Nadu's coach, the former Mumbai cricketer Sulakshan Kulkarni, telling reporters after the match that the skipper Sai Kishore's error at the toss was where Tamil Nadu lost the match. Kulkarni, a former Mumbai wicketkeeper and renowned coach in the domestic circuit, claimed that Tamil Nadu had prepared to field first had they won the toss at the BKC complex, and that he was surprised to see Sai Kishore do the opposite. Something he felt was down to some different instinct. After choosing to bat, Tamil Nadu were soon 42 for the loss of 5 wickets in bowler-friendly conditions, which proved a pivotal passage for host Mumbai, who won the match by an innings thanks to a maiden first-class 100 from Shardul Thakur and 89 from Tanush Kotian. Speaking after the semi-final, Kulkarni said the following. He said, "I always speak straightforward. We lost the match at 9 o'clock on day 1. The moment I saw the wicket, I knew exactly what we were going to get. Everything was set. We won the toss. As a coach, as a Mumbaikar, I know the conditions well. We should have bowled, but the captain had some different instinct. When I saw that they had played on a different pitch in the quarterfinal and what wicket they gave, That moment I realized that this is a seeming friendly wicket and it was going to be a very tough match. We would have had to play really well to win this game. Ultimately, Sai Kishore is the boss. I can give my feedback and inputs on the kind of wickets and Mumbai's mindset also. This statement from Kulkarni irked former Tamil Nadu and India wicketkeeper Dinesh Karthik, who took to social media platform X to tweet, "This is so wrong. This is so disappointing from the coach. Instead of backing the captain, who has brought the team to the semis after 7 years and thinking it is a start for good things to happen, the coach has absolutely thrown his captain and the team under the bus." To which former Ranji Trophy winning captain Shishir Hatangli added, "Typical of coaches who take credit for a team's success and distance themselves when a team has had a bad day." Tamil Nadu had reached the semi-finals of the Ranji Trophy after winning 4 of their 7 matches with 1 loss and 2 draws. Moving on to badminton, an Indian national badminton coach Pullela Gopichand foresees a bright future for Indian badminton, saying it has come a long way in the past 3 decades from not participating in the 1994 Commonwealth Games, as it was believed they would not finish in the top 6, to now having a medal in all global badminton events. Listen into what he had to say.
I think let's look at badminton and a history of badminton. So 1980, Prakash sir had won the Olympis. By the time I was in the junior lot, in 91, I was the junior national champion. Badminton has gone down very drastically over the next few years, to a point where in 1994, the Indian team was not sent to the Commonwealth Games because we were not supposed to be ranked in the top 6 of Commonwealth nations. So that is where our journey of badminton has started in 1994. 30 years down the line, to have us as Thomas Cup champions and to actually win an Asian championship in women and win every event in the world, as in to have a medal finish at 3 consecutive Olympics, to have every world championship from 2011 onwards till date, every world championship we've come back with a medal. Asian Games we've come back this time with a silver and a bronze and a gold. I think it's been phenomenal. So I think badminton has done very well, and in 30 years I don't see this. I think is the miracle of Indian badminton, to actually see us from where we were as probably the 7th nation in Commonwealth Games to actually become the world champions in the sport. I think has been phenomenally. So that's how I would really look at it. Yes, there are aspects definitely. We would all want to win golds. There's a whole world we are competing against. And this time at the Asian Games, we had a gold with Satvik and Chirag.
This leads into the question, what after Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu, considering that Saina is almost retired and Sindhu is not at her best? Are there others who've taken the mantle from them for excelling on the international stage? Gopichand names a number of youngsters who are showing an immense promise. Listen in.
This time at the BATC, we had a 17-year-old girl called Anmol Khar who did very well. She is somebody who I do definitely hope comes. But also the fact that she's not our junior national champion or a sub-junior national champion is testimony to the fact that there are players in her age group who have beaten her in these tournaments. With the risk of being sure that I miss many players, I don't want to take other names, but I would say there are about 6 to 7 girls, and definitely Anmol is one of the brightest talents we have. And the way she's played at the Badminton Asia Championships and beat players from China, Thailand, and Japan in the crucial rubber, I think definitely augurs well for Indian women's singles. And I do hope that one of those girls would come out in the next few years as top. We have Lakshya Sen, who's young. We have Priyanshu Rajawat, who's, of course, Pranoy. I do expect him to continue for another couple of years. So, outside of this, we had world number 3 in the juniors, Ayush Shetty, who was there. And we have at least another 3-4 players in that age group of 18 and 19 who have the potential to be top players. Back in the day when I was playing, the number of good players in the country would be about 20. Literally count those numbers. And maybe in the country about 40 to 50 players would be training religiously. Today, I would not be unfair to say that at least 10,000 people in the country are training professionally to become champions. And that is what it is.
We're going to slip into a short break at this point. When we return, how is Paris preparing for the Olympics this year? We'll tell you more on that.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the second worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
Only on the world's first news OTT. News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Well, PAC official posters for the Paris 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games were unveiled on Monday. The posters highlight historic monuments and sports facilities of the French capital. Paris Games design director Joaquin Ronson has termed the posters as something warm and happy.
The respective posters for the Olympic and Paralympic Games designed by Persian artist Ugo Gottoni complemented each other to form a double poster. They illustrate the main historical monuments in Paris such as Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe and Grand Palais. They also show the sports venues and facilities to be used during the Olympic and Paralympic Games, the Stade de France, the River Seine, the Pont Alexandre III, but also the sea in reference to Marseille and Tianfo surfing site in Tahiti.
I wanted something warm, happy, and I'm hoping that Paris 2024 would be that too. It's going to be a moment that's not at all solemn, but rather joyful, warm, welcoming the whole world, athletes from all over the world. This was also the vision of these posters.
The official posters are inspired by surrealistic artistic movement with a level of precision and detail unprecedented in the history of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Once I put in place my monuments and my architectural base, I was able to start going into detail and putting little characters, filling the stands, putting in little jokes, little stories, the little flag bearers, and I added a water source of the Seine in the middle of the Olympic rings.
Though the artistic choice Paris 2024 is paying tribute to the surrealistic manifesto written by André Breton and published in 1924, the year of the last Olympic Games to be held in French capital. 8 official mascots of Paris 2024 are hidden in these posters in a thinly veiled reference to children's puzzles book series, Where's Wally?
Paris Olympic Games organizers have reassured competitors that the apartment units in the athletes' village are adapted to summer temperatures amid international delegations expressing worries over heat waves during the Games. The Paris 2024 organizers are confident that air conditioning won't be needed at the athletes' village. Cool groundwater will be used to cool the air of these apartments. The Paris village will house around 15,000 athletes and officials during the Games.
Designed these buildings so that they would be comfortable places to live in the summer in 2024 and later on. And we don't need air conditioning in these buildings because we oriented the facades so that they wouldn't get too much sun during the summer, and the facades the insulation is really efficient. We also are providing naturally cool water that we're getting from underground to cool the air of these apartments. So you will not need air conditioning in the summer here.
The keys to a 52-hectare village just north of Paris along the river Seine were officially handed to the Olympic organizers last week. The village will host some 15,000 athletes and their staff before welcoming 9,000 for the Paralympic. Paris has been working on cleaning up the river so that people can swim in it again, as was the case during the 1900 Paris Olympics. But a sewer problem last summer led to the cancellation of a pre-Olympic swimming event. French President Emmanuel Macron has promised to take a swim in the river Seine one day as he officially inaugurated the 2024 Olympic Village and praised the legacy the Games will leave to Paris, including a swimmable river. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo also said she would do so more than 3 decades after her predecessor, Jacques Chirac, famously promised to do it in the presence of witnesses but never did.
For Parisians, there will be significant legacies in terms of infrastructure, in particular with the Seine. We know that for the Seine and the Marne, there has been extraordinary investments done by the municipalities, by the state. The regional prefecture has made a lot of commitments on this matter and coordinated all the actors, including the water agencies and others. For the Ile-de-France residents, we will also have the Marne River that will have a new face and usage tomorrow, and that's formidable. Yes, there has been commitments made. Well, of course, yes, I'd go in. I won't give you the date, or you risk being there.
We wrap up with some tennis action. Rafael Nadal put up an impressive display in the inaugural Netflix slam in Las Vegas, but could not stop young Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz from winning the 5-setter duel. In an epic face-off for the Netflix, the match went right down to the wire, with Nadal saving 5 match points before Alcaraz finally clinched the victory. Nadal, who spent almost a year on the sidelines with a hip injury before suffering a muscle injury at the start of the season, said he felt much better than expected during the exhibition match in front of a sellout crowd of 9,000 people, including Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones and other Hollywood celebrities.
He has helped raise millions of dollars for charities.
Rafael Nadal was making a comeback to tennis action after having sustained an injury in the Brisbane, which had ruled him out of the Australian Open. Prior to that, the 22-time major winner was sidelined for almost a year following a hip injury. He was expected to return to action at Qatar Open in February, but decided to pull out.
Please welcome Carlos Alcaraz.
In the Netflix slam, an exhibition match against Carlos Alcaraz at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, Nadal pulled up an encouraging performance. The match was filled with positive signs for Nadal ahead of the Indian Wells, where he is also a 3-time champion. In his most recent appearance in 2022, he was a runner-up, losing to Taylor Fritz in 2022 final. Nadal had a strong start, racing to a 5-2 lead in the first set. Then Alcaraz held to stay in the set, but Nadal slammed down 3 aces en route to take the first set 6-3. But Alcaraz had other plans in the second set and took his level up by a notch. The young Spaniard remained a dominant force thereafter. The match was also a big test for Alcaraz, who injured his right ankle in February in the Rio Open. He will be looking to build a strong momentum, having not won a Grand Slam title since his Wimbledon victory last year. It was filled with positive signs for Nadal ahead of the Indian Wells, where he is also a 3-time champion. He also showed enough stamina to save 5 points in the match tiebreak before Alcaraz finally clinched victory. Nadal's first match in the tournament is scheduled for Thursday and Alcaraz will get a bye.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.
You were the chosen one to direct Mr. Bachchan for his first endorsement, for his first appearance on the small screen.
It was a life-changing moment.
Have you been a rebel with a cause?
There was a sense of responsibility, there was a sense